Hello, my name is Jermaine aka Jay, and welcome to my channel. This is season 3 of Jay's Big Chat. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Hello and welcome to another episode of Jay's Big Chat with me, your host Jermaine aka Jay. Joining me to talk about the topic that is criminal minds, we've got Relicia, Dana, Rajon. Hi guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Leia's not able to join us on this chat, but she will be back with us next week. So what we're going to do is dive straight in to the big topic that is criminal minds. Obviously, this is a massive topic, and we're definitely going to be dissecting it and seeing if we can get through as much of it as possible. When the word criminal minds come to mind, like what are you guys thinking when you hear the word criminal? Like it sounds almost like a dirty word, doesn't it, sometimes?
I would separate criminal versus criminal mind. I think that's two different things, because you can be a criminal without having a criminal mind. And I guess you can also have a criminal mind without being a criminal. So they're probably two different things, maybe.
You're right. It is what do we see as, or who do we see as a criminal, and what do we see as a criminal act? Because I guess you and I can both see things in different ways. But of course, I guess this is why there's laws. What's your, I guess, opinions or views on criminal records, and should companies hire criminals, and should you date a criminal, etc., you know?
Depends on the criminal.
Yeah, I said the same thing, because I think, everyone deserves a second chance. Like, well, not everyone, but a second chance in a sense. It depends on how bad the crime you've done is, but like, you're actually making people turn back into a life of crime if they've come out of prison, or if they've served time, community action, whatever, for what they did, and then they can't get a job because of their criminal record. You're actually forcing someone to go back down that route. So I don't think that all criminal offenses should be on your record.
You just said, oh, go on, Rajon, go.
It's a bit risky at times as well in terms of retribution for companies. So say like, someone that stole something, unable to get a call center job, versus someone, I don't know, like a sex offender, a child sex offender, who's just trying to work with children. Should they deserve a second chance?
No.
Not in that field,
Even
no.
you can potentially have changed, but it's the risk associated with it, I guess.
I think if you're a sex offender, you can't work, even if you come out and you want a second chance. I don't think you can get hired to work with children.
No, I would agree with that. I think that you should get a second chance in terms of maybe working at Tesco's or working in a call center or doing something like that. But I don't think
away from the children.
Yeah, if you're or even just vulnerable people in general, because you can an adult person who's vulnerable in hospital and stuff like that. And I don't think if you've had that in your previous record, you should be allowed to work with vulnerable people again.
What's your thoughts against companies declining an individual because they've got a criminal record? So say, for instance, they went into prison for, I don't know, like possession of drugs, or for a firearm charge, or for burglary.
I don't think you should like brandish someone like that just because of that title. Like if someone served maybe 3 months in prison for possession of drugs, for example, when somebody comes out of prison, they should have a good enough community care team, community officers and stuff like that, to ensure that that person's not going to be put in the same position to re-offend. And I think that not being able to get a job or unstable income is more of a risk factor to, you should be encouraging people to try and get jobs and stuff like that. So I think it's a bit discriminatory, really, to say that that person can never work with such and such organizations. There are quite a few now who are taking off looking at criminal history on applications.
There are.
But is that a good thing? Because then someone who's done a crime that's potentially not forgivable, the company might not know about it.
I don't think it should cancel out a person though. So say, I don't know, I've worked within IT for 20 years and you make one mistake which made you go in prison for 6 months. You're telling me the IT company will not now want to hire that person of 20 years experience, proving himself for that many years, but because of one mistake, he's now unable to continue with his life and what he normally does. It's kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I guess it is all, subjective to the crime that's being committed and the business that this individual is going into. If you're applying for a position in a bank or in a as a financial director or a head of finance or some role, but you've been convicted and served some time for money laundering, then or fraud, then I think it's within the safety of the organization to say, maybe not this position, but if there is another position, because we know you've got skill sets and whatnot, maybe. That's how I would see it. Because you still have to protect your business. As much as everyone can change, and of course everyone does deserve a second chance, everyone-ish, then yeah.
I'll flip it around then, because what do you think about, there have been cases in the past where you get like hackers and people who are extremely intelligent have hacked into sites that they're not actually supposed to be hacking into, then getting jobs to like
100% agreed.
Same thing happening again, you know, so like they do that.
I think that's how Facebook hired most of their stuff.
100, and it's smart, and the thing is, at that point you realize that those individuals who are doing things like that, they're committing crimes, or again, they're committing crimes. They're doing things on the legal front. But if what their knowledge and what they can do, and you know how useful they can be, if they can do that on the legal side of things, then you know, why not?
If someone hurt your mom or something, or killed your mom, and then you went on to just murder the person out of anger.
So you're saying
retribution. Are you really a murderer, or did you just do it just for that specific circumstance?
Okay, so so my mother's walking down the road, minding her business, just went to Tesco's, going into her house, a guy or woman, whoever, comes up to her and murders her, brutally. Am I a bad person for going after that murderer?
So you're becoming a vigilante.
Because
I'm like Batman. I'm basically Batman.
Law into your own hands. But
I am Batman. I'm Batman.
You're meant to say.
Why can you not?
You're meant to say in that deep voice that.
Okay.
Who are you? I'm Batman.
I have a question then. What do you think the difference is between that and the death penalty? Who decides who lives and who dies? You know, that's when we bring this into the conversation, because it was, yes, you feel that personal resentment because it was someone you know, but then what's the difference between you going and doing something like that and the courts then saying, okay, we're going to put this person on death row because they committed murder?
It's not justified. Me saying I would kill the murderer, it's not a good thing. It isn't, but I've heard stories about people who have actually gone and killed their abuser because, you know, years of abuse. I can understand why they've done it. I can understand. So I think that they should be punished? You know, clearly the law government is gonna punish them, but should they really be punished?
Do you think death is punishment then? Because I
don't think death is a punishment. But then you don't exactly want to see, you know, the person that murdered your mum walk the streets. Because sometimes they don't get convicted. That's the thing. So if they get convicted, then it's a different thing. If they're not getting convicted, then that's when you have to play Batman.
You could catch a child at the right time to prevent them from growing up to be a monster. Because I think a lot of it comes from trauma, and because they're never dealt with and faced, then it's something that manifests and something that then becomes what we know to be, you know, serial killers. And that's another one, isn't it? Like, there's a difference now between a murderer and a serial killer. So the question is, if you are going to forgive someone who is a murderer, could you then forgive someone who's a serial killer?
Absolutely.
No, a serial killer, they're continuously killing. They're going on a killing spree.
I personally couldn't forgive a serial killer. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if they deserve to be like on death row or anything like that. And I think each case is different, but I think serial killers definitely need to be in prison. Murderers probably as well. But I think that are there signs from like a kid like growing up? Because when you get these people in America just going and mass shooting at schools, you know, do they deserve to go to prison? When you look at what's happened in their life that's got them to that point, do you think there are certain things that could have been put in place to prevent them from doing that in the first place?
So, the person who's done the shooting shouldn't go to prison?
No, I'm not saying they shouldn't go to prison, but I'm saying, are there things that have happened in their life that people could have picked up on and kind of it had some kind of early intervention before they got to that stage?
There's millions of children right now in schools who don't have friends, who sit alone at the lunch table, who go home, who get abused, who all these negative things, who parents don't even say I love you, who don't even hug them. That's millions of children. How do we as adults, how are we supposed to stop those children from growing up into crazy teenagers and then crazy adults? It's impossible.
Well,
all those children, do you know how much money that will take? The government
we've got the money.
I think people forget that when you invest in your population, it's always going to be a good thing. I'm a firm believer in like changing the education system and like how it's run at the moment. I want to work in the Department of Education one day. Like, I think we can change it, and we should try. We never know if we're not going to try.
You're talking about, definitely educations and systems and proactive things to be put in place before a 6-month-old becomes in the next 20 years time a serial killer or a arsonist or a notorious burglar or drug dealer, and for sure this is definitely where money comes into it, because wherever money is pumped into, like 9 times out of 10 it will succeed. So whether it's war, whether it's medicine, whether it's society, like as long as there's money there and with true intent to actually make positive change, I feel like that's where the key is.
What do you say? The system is built to have criminals to run the country.
Well,
we need criminals basically to run
literally.
Do you think that you're the type of person to be able to forgive in order to move on? Like, taking away, if this person comes and says, listen, I'm so sorry, and explain the situation and whatever it is, yes, your family member might still be dead. Yes, you might be 10 grand out of pocket. Yes, your house might be burnt down. Would you say yes to forgiving?
Yeah, I think I would. I think it depends on what it was, but I think so. I think holding on to grudges is worse for you.
Let's quickly just watch this clip here.
What's the address of your emergency? In Thomasville. Somebody looked like they'd been shot in the head, laying on the ground. People around till they heard a gunshot.
I don't hate you. I can't hate you.
Obviously, there are so many stories, exactly like that when it comes to something traumatic happening to someone you love, and having the ability to say, yes, I forgive you, or actually forever and a day holding a grudge.
It comes to a point where you have to say, this is enough. We can't just keep continuing the same cycle over and over again, because hurt people, so you have to learn to forgive and choose to do better.
That woman right there, she is very brave and very strong. I take my hat off to her, honestly, that takes a lot of heart. I have kids, so I'm thinking, if somebody shot my daughter, would I go up to that person and hug them? I am not going to be on here and lie. No, I am not going to do that. If that makes me a bad person, then I'm going to have hate in my heart for them at the time. But I feel like as time goes past, that hate will decrease. I'm not going to go and seek revenge, even though I did say I was Batman a while ago. But I feel like I was. I can't. Forgiving takes time.
Like, I don't have kids, so that's not something I could, you know. So like, I'm sitting here and I can say, yeah, I could forgive that person, but at the end of the day, could I? Like, if I really was put in that, I appreciate that it would definitely take time, and it's not linear either. Like, you're gonna have days where you just hate the other person. You're gonna have days where you can sometimes see the other point of view. Like, it's not linear, definitely not.
What's your thoughts on that one, Rajan?
I say the same. She's quite a strong woman to hug the person, to forgive the person. But I think she also sees the bigger picture, in the sense that just by her making such a statement and showing love and compassion towards that person, hopefully through her message, it can have an impact on other people's lives, and even for himself, just to save the boy. That he be a testimony to everyone else, really. So it's just her character, I'd say. Not everyone's built like that, but
that's strength, you know. That is strength.
If everyone was like that, I think it would be a better world for sure.
It would be.
Do you think you could do it, Jay?
Moving on to the next question. No, I'm joking. If I know that someone is genuinely remorseful, and you know that there can be, like, I like to look beyond the current situation and think, okay, me forgiving you. So if I find the strength to forgive you for killing my child, right? If I do find that strength, which it will take a lot of finding, and I eventually found it, I need to know that it's not going to be the case of, or it's going to be like a wasteful forgiveness. Someone slapped me in the face, like, and it didn't hurt, then it's more easy for me to be like, oh, forgive it, it's all right, no worries. But if they punch me in the face, now I've got a black eye, might take me a day or two. You know, then if I lose my eye, then, I mean, how am I going to forgive you for losing my sight? Maybe it might take me 5 years and I might come around. But for taking, you know, my child's life, it will take this person to be so remorseful that I can see and realize, you know what, yes, as that woman says, life is already being lost. How can we save yours? Especially to make sure that what you've done already, you don't go and do again. So
100% agree with that. I agree, definitely.
Killing in self-defense, justifiable or not in your eyes?
Yes.
Did you have to kill them to get away, or you just did it because
as in life or death? It's either kill or be killed.
Well, yes, yeah.
Say you're the one who had to kill in order to survive, right? Would you expect people to forgive you?
Do you see what you're doing right now? Because criminals kill to survive. Some criminals kill to survive. So is it justifiable? Me walking in an alleyway, being attacked, and the only way that I can get out of this little predicament is by killing my attacker. Everyone's going to be like, oh, good for him. Well done, Relisa, for killing that person who tried to, you know, kill me. However, that criminal might have been trying to, I don't know, steal my purse. And, you know,
to make ends meet. To make ends meet for his kids
so
at home.
He's got family at home. He's got a baby. He's been trying to get a job, can't get it. Now, is that justified? You see, it depends on who reads the story, you know? I like what you did there, though. Smart.
When I was looking at this topic, right, it literally drove me crazy, because I thought to myself, here we are in a world that's made up of, you know, so many different minds, right? And an individual's mind from a very young age can either be theirs or not theirs. And I say that in the sense of mental health has a part to play, where an individual is not fully fully in control of their mind, and that can obviously lead to criminal activities. But those of us who are fortunate to be of sound mind, we make decisions. And as they say, every action has a reaction. On one hand, I can justify, and on the other hand, I can't justify, depending on which shoe, I'm in. And it makes me a hypocrite. So the big question is, can criminals be reformed, or can they be truly reformed? And who makes the decision on whether or not a criminal has been reformed? What are your opinions on that?
Of course they can.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Everyone can change, I think.
Everyone can change.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Everyone has the ability to change? Oh, ability.
Everyone's got the ability to change?
Whether they want to or not is a different
Whether they want to or not?
Why do I feel like I'm always the negative Nancy in this group? Because
your name is Nancy?
I don't. I don't
really
think
so?
every criminal can be reformed.
He says believe a criminal. I believe a criminal can be reformed.
Which criminal's that?
Yeah.
What type of criminal?
Thief. If I stole something from Primark and I got a criminal record, I'm not going to steal from Primark again. It was just one of them ones.
Okay.
But you steal from Tesco's then?
Yeah.
You stopped just because you were caught. You stopped because you were caught in Primark.
Yeah. It's under the circumstances you did it. If you don't because you're a mindless, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let me add more. Let me add more meat to this question. So you have a paedophile who has served 12 years in prison for having underage stash of pictures of underage kids, who's sexually assaulted underage kids, and the whole shebang. Okay. Now this person has spent, as I said, I'd say 10, 12 years, whatever it is, in prison. Half of that in some form of reform camp or program or whatever it is. And at the end of it, they hand on oath say, I'm a reformed paedophile. I do not think like that anymore. I do not have these urges. I do not act like that.
Yeah, that's a bit weird when it comes to can I just say I hate pedophiles, by the way?
Yeah.
But can I just
agree.
how are you supposed to test a pedophile? You're supposed to dangle a child in front of a pig? Like that makes no sense. That's why I just don't think you should forgive them. I'm sorry, but if you harm,
just like pedophiles, there are a lot. And the reason why this question is such a broad one, such an interesting one, is because are you able to forget? Oh, sorry. Are you able to say that a criminal can be reformed if the particular act can be monitored?
Yeah. See, I don't know where I stand on this one, because pedophilia is like, people say it's a sexual orientation. You know what I mean? If they're attracted to young children, does that ever really go away? Like when you're attracted to women, you're attracted to men. When you're attracted to men and women, that's not something that.
But they say through psychology. They say through psychology and reform program that you can.
I think they can be reformed, and I think that they can change their behavior in terms of they don't have to have that. You can track whether someone's got that pornography on their phones or on their laptops or anything like that. They can track.
But can you track as they're walking along on the high street who they're looking at and who they're imagining?
No, definitely not. But again, who decides that? Like, some people would say that it's wrong for a girl to be attracted to a girl, and some people are criminals in some societies for that. So like, but pedophilia is one that no one wants. No one wants people to be attracted to young.
The difference between being a woman being attracted to a woman and a male being attracted to a male, that's grown adults.
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want. I can't say, oh, I'm attracted to this little 5-year-old boy. That little 5-year-old boy has no idea what you're even talking about, even what
exactly.
But this is
that's how I where do you draw the line? Like I don't.
But this is why it's justified by them, because it's all by doctors, because then it's not their fault. It's just how they're wired, you know.
These doctors are probably pedophiles themselves. I'm sorry. I would say that.
I think society is part to blame, I think, for this as well, though, because we're always sexualizing the schoolgirl uniform and like nurses uniforms.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be sexualized in the first place. And like, I think having the thing that all women have to be hairless, you know, we have to shave all the time, stuff like that. That's fetishizing like prepubescent kids, you know, like that stuff. We shouldn't be sexualizing it as much as we do. So I think that is part to play.
Is it a criminal on paper or criminal at heart?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I don't believe just because it's on paper, you don't mean you're a criminal. I don't believe in it.
What does that mean to you? Like
drink, I don't know, someone who's done drink driving. Just on the one off with his friend, shouldn't have. All of them are drunk. I just need to get home, drop everyone home. Got in a car crash. One of your friends died, or I don't know. You just done something that put you into prison. You now got a criminal record. You as he's not a criminal. When he comes out, I doubt he's gonna be doing that again. Like, but in his heart, he's not a criminal. But he just made a mistake.
But was it the first time he was drink driving, or was it the first time he ever got caught for it?
Good point. That's a good point. You should be a police officer, you know, all these questions.
I want to be a teacher.
That's close enough. Yeah, make a difference. That's good. Yeah.
I don't want to be a police officer.
Well.
Sometimes it takes you to get caught for you to fully understand the consequences. So say that a lot of people are probably confident. Yeah, it's true. A lot of people are probably confident saying, "Yeah, I'm on my phone and I can drive because on my phone second nature and I could drive. It's now second nature." So you feel you can do it. It's all right. Whatever. It only takes the one time for you to get in a serious situation with your phone in your hand for you to then realize and understand that I should have done that.
Better than cure. Yeah. You seriously have to. If you're just driving for 20 minutes, can you seriously not look at your phone for 20 minutes?
Yeah, but you thought, but prior to that, you thought it was a silly law. Like, I can do this. Anyone could do this.
I don't think people, when they get in the car and pick up their phone, make that conscious toss up between, you know, between the risks that they're taking.
I like the way you put it down to risk to reward, quite kind of thing.
Anyways, guys, thanks again for joining me. And until the next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.